Hi, we're Emily, Lee and Hudson. We're from the UK, and after some years living abroad in Thailand and Gozo where we got married, we wanted to be closer to nature with our own land for self-sufficiency. So we followed our dream and moved to rural Bulgaria in 2019 in a bid to become debt and stress-free and property owners. Follow us on our journey as we renovate our future home, showcase Bulgarian village life and share some useful tips as we learn along the way. We've got big plans on a tiny budget. Welcome to Our Derelict Dream.
Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday and it is already warm. Just after 9 o'clock in the morning, it's already 12 degrees. Sun's out. We've had amazing weather the past week. So I've been cracking on with the house. Unfortunately, I haven't been really filming anything. So I'll do a quick run through today of what we've been getting up to. So, as I just said, the weather has been absolutely incredible this past week. It's been still a bit cold at night, but that's standard for Bulgaria. But the days, I think yesterday it was sort of 21 degrees, and we've been having sort of 18s and stuff like that, and that's in the shade. So working outside in the sun has been amazing. Fortunately, we've had family visit us, and the weather's been good for them. So, yeah, that was lovely having Em's in-laws. Em's in-laws? No, my in-laws. Em's family. Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. Really, really nice time that we had with those guys. And the day that they left, I collected my mum from Sofia Airport, and she's been with us ever since. Unfortunately, she's suffering with sciatica, which is something that pesters our whole family pretty much. So she's trying to rest, but also trying to help, looking after Hudson so that I can be here and Em can crack on with work. Yeah, it's so good to be able to do more than about half an hour. So yeah, I'll show you what I've been getting up to. So for starters here, I've done a little bit of clearing because we were expecting to get a wood delivery just here. So I've cleared up most of these stones, which is where I was going to cut all of the material. Basically changed our plans, just because of the way that our funds arrived to us. It was going to be pretty expensive to do it all in one go. So we're actually concentrating on other stuff at the moment. But yeah, the wood will be arriving for the floor next month. Not too long to wait, so that's all right. So inside upstairs, be quiet, bird. Blimey. Yeah, up in what will be the bedroom. Still got a few things to take downstairs, some chairs and stuff like that. But most of the stuff I've actually found space for, which is great. Hallway's clear, apart from these windows. Now these windows I've painted, cleaned up the glass and just replaced it, so it's actually seamed in correctly now, not like it was before. And that's for this window. Now obviously, as we explained before, we're going to be putting a secondary window to act as double glazing, and it will be what's the word, like frosted. The glass, we're going to do that just so that if it does ever become a rental, people aren't looking over into the garden. Just a little bit of privacy, but still allows the light to come in. The same window had a lintel that was very badly leaning in. It was just, I mean, it was absolute garbage. So I've taken that down, kept all of the material here, and I'll be rebuilding that when I do the windows, so probably a couple of weeks. I've removed this window in the hallway, and I'm going to be doing it exactly the same as these windows, same colours, same everything. And we're also going to do the frosted glass here again, because it looks over our little garden. So in here, as you can see, still got these doors that I'm halfway through restoring. We've taken out glass panels. These are other windows dotted around the house, all kind of all coming along. It's slow work, but we're getting there. Now these are the top windows for this setup here, and you should be able to see, this is just with one coat, you should be able to see nice and how nice and smooth they are now. It's yeah, it's really worked well. Real happy. So instead of doing our wood order to build the floors, which is what we were intending to do while my mum was here, we've changed plans, as I said, just because of funds. We don't want to be too short. So what we did yesterday is we took a trip into town and picked up some electrical and plumbing supplies. So I'm going to grab those out of the car. I'll show you what we got. So I'll just do a little run through of what we purchased yesterday. So let's start with the fuse board. This is the box. This is enough for 18 fuses, and I think with what I worked out, we've got 13 fuses over there, so we've got space if we need to add anything. Just some little supplies, some Teflon tape, electrical tape, wire, what are they called? Let's just call them clips, I suppose. These are going to be for our light fittings, so I think I've got like 20 of those. Some clips for some pipe, some fittings for pipe which will attach to these taps. Now what I like to do is before every tap, so before every sink, before the washing machine, before the boiler, anything like that, I like to have an isolation tap. I think they're about £3, so it's definitely worth doing. If you have a broken pipe or something like that, you can isolate every individual thing, and it's just kind of a fail-safe. So I really like doing that. That's a little tip for you. So we got some connection boxes. We've got these for the double sockets. We've got our buzz board to go with the fuses. we've got our mains breaker and our tester. We've got 16 amp fuses for, that'll be for each individual room. That's how I like to do my wiring. So again, we can isolate and keep everything else going. So the 16 amp fuses will do the standard wall sockets and the lights. So each room will have its own one. Then we have 25 amp fuses, and they will be for things in the kitchen mainly. So the oven will be on its own separate ring. The boiler will be on its own one. Washing machine and tumble dryer will be on their own one, and the generator will also be on its own little fuse. So everything you see here came to 440 lev, thereabouts. I've got the receipt here. Yeah, 440.85. I'm not sure what the conversion is at the moment, but I think that's probably about £180. A lot of the plumbing fittings I already have at the other property, because we just bought truckloads of them when we were doing up the house there. This will be the third time in 2 different countries that we've done a full rewire and a new plumbing system. So I've had a bit of practice now, and yeah, I'm hoping that this will go pretty quick. Well, let's see. Now, what I like to do, because I often work by myself, is go around and use a bit of tape, or today I'm going to use some spray paint on the wall and mark where I would like to put my light switches, where I want to put my sockets. Obviously, you know, you've got to plan where your sofa's going, so you don't want them behind the sofa, things like that. Yeah, and then I can just show Emily, and she'll go, yeah, maybe move that one a couple of feet over, let's move this one here. It's a really good way of doing it, just with spray paint. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with that, and then I'll walk you around it. So, got my spray paint, going to leave that out in the sun for 10 minutes, and then I probably won't have to shake it at all. So what I've done here is what I did in the last house, and basically I'll go through and I'll do a dot for a light. I'll do, hopefully that's it, yeah, there. 2 lines is going to be more than 2 plugs. 2 dots is going to be a light switch, and just a straight line like the one here is going to be a double socket.
Happy Sunday, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I got a lovely present from Hudson and a card. So Daddy's in my good books today. And we've got mother-in-law here, so we're going to treat Lee's mum today. So we'll show you what we get up to. But I'm tuning in for a pup date. We're 2 down. 2 got collected by a lovely couple last weekend, and we're just about to go and meet a couple from Sofia who are taking little white male. So Tank. So he'll be going this morning, and then that just leaves the really pretty female that's kind of my favourite that we're umming and ahhing about. So unless there's a anyway, we'll let you know a pup date on her as and when. So we've come to the village of Tryavna, which is an old town. So we'll show you some of the old buildings. Say hello, Hudson. This is Nanny.
Hello.
And we were just seeing the old Baba Mata tied in the trees. So it's the end of that festival. We saw our stork's nest and the first blossom, so spring is on its way.
Good morning, guys. Monday morning. Hope you all had a great weekend. Ours was fantastic. I did a bit of work on Saturday, and Sunday was Mothering Sunday. So obviously, with my mum being here, took her out for dinner. Went to a great spot called Tryavna. Really nice. If you're ever sort of in the VT area, go and check it out. It's I think it's probably about an hour's drive out of the centre. So for us, it was about an hour and a half. So I'm at the property this morning. Went round the other day with the spray paint and had a look where I want to place switches, things like that. So basically, what I'll do today, I've got some cable, not too much, but enough for me to be cracking on with. So I'm going to go around the property, and I'm basically just going to screw the boxes for the switches, sockets, things like that. Just screw them straight into the wall for now, just so I can get an idea for placement, and then I can run cable between them, leave a little loop, so I've probably got around 2 feet of movement at either side. So this doesn't have to be perfect, but at least that way I can really plan for the fuses, which is going to go where, what cable's going where, and where it's going to. We're just outside the house. Spring is definitely sprung. We've got bees, we've got all insects, and we've got lovely blossoms. We also noticed on Saturday when we were here the amount of wall lizards that we have living in these stones behind me. There's definitely a whole family there, and they're all out sunning themselves. It's amazing, lovely to see. Just outside the house. And there's a bit of roadkill here. It's a badger. Not nice. So I won't show you. It's a little bit graphic. But I've never seen one in person. Up close before. What a beautiful animal. They're amazing. So I'm definitely going to clear this guy out of the road. and yeah, sort that out. But how amazing to know that there's badgers right next to your house. I mean, they're definitely right in the sticks. All I need now, box of screws, drill and a tape measure, and I'll go round, as I said, and put the boxes where I think they should kind of go, leave a little loop of cable and attach them back to the fuse box. So the first thing for me to do is probably get the fuse box on the wall. As I said, it's not actually being attached to this wall. There will be a wall in front of all of these walls. As we said in prior videos, it will be like a room within a room. So that leaves us space to hide all of the cabling and do what we need to do. Yeah, I won't explain all that again. If you want to see that, go back to one of the other videos. But we're planning here in the living room that we'll probably put the TV on the wall. Keeps it away from Hudson. It means that we don't have to buy a piece of furniture to go on the floor. So it leaves us a lot more floor space for him to play. So that'll work really well. But what I want to do behind the TV, so probably around here, we'll have like an access box which will go down, and another access box at the bottom, which is where I will feed all of the cabling down, all of the plugs, and at the bottom we'll have the sockets, but they'll all be hidden behind a little access panel. So that should be really good. So there won't be any wires on show trailing down from the telly, and we won't have to do any trunking or anything. I just think it will look really neat and tidy, and obviously with little man running around, it's got to be for the best. There we go, simple as that. 6 little screws. This one, hopefully you can see, has a nice little function. There, it's got a little spirit level already attached, so yeah, saves me a little job. It's great. I think this one holds up to 18 fuses, and I want to say it was 25 left, so with today's exchange you're probably looking about 11 or 12 pounds. It's yeah, really good value. What a thing of beauty. Absolutely amazing. So now I need to attach my buzzboard here, and that will attach all of the fuses together with the live wire. And there she is. Done. Probably 10 minutes work. Yeah, really simple to do that yourself. Obviously there's no electrics there, there's nothing, so getting all of that installed, if you're paying an electrician to come round, if you can do a lot of the work yourself, save yourself a bit of money. Yeah, super easy to do. All right, so that's done. I've really noticed the difference in quality, shall we say. So these black ones, I can bend them, really easy to drill, it just sort of melts the plastic. They're kind of the weakest ones, so they will be ones that I use for things that won't really be getting touched. You don't need to spend really good money on fixtures and fittings like this if they're just going to be a light. So these are I think 50 coins. So I mean that's about 20p, something like that. It's yeah, so anything that's lights, we just use the cheap ones. Then we got the mid-range ones, which are pretty strong, to be honest with you. And they'll be used for the switches and for the sockets, where we'll be constantly putting things in and out. These are amazing, absolutely fantastic. Harder to drill, much better plastic, much better quality, but they are 4 times the price of the cheap ones. So yeah, I mean, bear that in mind. I always think anything that's going to be handled, especially with a little one around, yeah, all of your low-level stuff, spend a bit of extra money on that. And things like the lights, you can save yourself a few pennies. I'm going to go around now and see where I've made all of my marks, move them into each room, and just screw them into the wall temporarily. Then we'll have a better idea of the space and how I need to do this wiring. Because we got to think, you know, where the kitchen units are going to be. We want a light above the sink, we want a light above the work surface, all that kind of stuff. Same with the bathroom, and obviously things like either side of the bed. So I've kind of got to measure to see the width of the bed, see how far away they need to be. But again, that's very difficult at the moment, with these just being the kind of temporary walls, not the actual walls. So I'll leave myself a foot or so, 30 centimeters, 12 inches of cable at each individual one, so that I've got enough space to move them around after. Okay, so that's the lights and switches all connected in the lounge, in the hallway, in the bedroom. The bathroom is done, and I ran out of cable in the kitchen. So yeah, it's amazing how quickly 60 meters goes. Fortunately, because these are only going to be LED, we're just using 1mm cable, so it's not expensive. I think that cost me about 80 lev, something like that. So I've got a bit of 1.5 with me, left over from the old property. So I'm just going to daisy chain some of the sockets together, and yeah, see how far I get. When I run out, I'll call it a day. All right, some out of cable. Yeah, got a fair bit done. That was probably only, I don't know, maybe half an hour, something like that. So yeah, if you weren't sure to do electrics yourself, I mean, anybody can install a box that's just screws to the wall, and anybody can do what I've just done. It might save you an awful lot of money if you're asking an electrician to come and do work for you. Yeah, obviously the less time they stay there, the less money you'll spend. So if you can do this, it's probably been in total a couple of hours. So yeah, definitely do it if you can. So the next time I go out in the car, I'll pick up some more 1mm cable for some outside lights, which we don't even have the fittings for yet, but I'll grab it and I'll run them all through the wall. Grab more 1.5 for the standard sockets, and a load of 2.5 for the individual fuses for things like the boiler. Yeah, it shouldn't be too much. I'm hoping maybe another 100 meters of cable and we should be done.